Sometimes things don't work out, or you don't get the finish you expected, and that's what happened to me with my baby's trolley. I replaced the handle covers because they look like this. Terrible. And they didn't turn out as I expected. They are really uncomfortable, they are wrinkly, and when you push the trolley, they really bother your skin. They're really rough. So I'm going to repeat them. Well, let's park around here. And the job of the day is to get rid of all the seams and keep the zips. It has top stitching, and I'm going to be using the proper cover as a template, as a pattern for the new one. For a minute I thought it was glued on. You shouldn't do this, but the zip is not gonna break, so. What a mess. Well, I have my zips here, and what is going to be my pattern for the new cut, and it is made of 2 panels, and then after sewing them together, it's top stitch. Top stitching is great. I love top stitching. It gives great strength to the panel you're sewing, and you can do it different ways. You can fold to one side. Once you have your first seam done, you can fold to one side or to the other to top stitch that seam again, so it's really strong, or you can open it and top stitch in both sides, which is how this one is done. It's really nice, but I can't really see the point. I thought that maybe it was to give some sort of flexibility to the panel because it goes on a curve, but now that I open it, it's not. It's just a rectangle of fabric. So I guess it's just the design. So I'm going to pass. I'm not going to do it just because sewing machines, home sewing machines are just that, home, and sometimes when you have too many layers of thick fabric, it doesn't sew as well. So I'm going to skip it. I'm going to just make like a big panel, just like that, and I think it's going to be nicer when you hold it because you won't have that seam right in the middle of your hand. It's not that it's a pain or anything, but I think it's going to be nicer. So let's cut. So this is the fabric I bought. It was quite affordable. I don't remember right now, of course, but it was like 6 or 7 euros a meter, something like that. I've got this, and the color is almost exactly the same. The original one, it's a bit darker, but I mean, I had some pink and turquoise remnants, and I love color, but I think that the pram should be a bit more classic. I don't like I like it as it is. We chose it because we like it like that. So I'm just going to cut it, and for leather you can cut any direction really, because the stretchiness and the flexibility, it's almost the same. So I'm going to cut on this side and leave a centimeter for seam allowance. On the side, it only has a half a centimeter of seam allowance. Bien, 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 bien. And of course this I'm going to keep, it's like a fabric. This I'm going to keep for my filling basket. But this I'm not. This is going in the bin when I finish. And the first thing I'm going to do is the hemming on top. When you have something like this and you want to replace it, what you have to do is to make a list of the possible seams they've done. And because the first one they did is this one in the middle, and I'm not going to do it, I'm going to start with the hem. The thing is that they did 3 different seams. They did the first one to sew together the 2 panels, then they did the hem on top of that, and then they did the one with the zip. So it's 3 seams. So when you have something like this to recreate, try to make a list of the seams you have to do in order, and for that you have to look at the back and see what is on top of what, and that way you can see the order they sewed it on. So the first one will be the panels together, then the hemming, and then this one is folded, so the third one is the zips. And of course, never ever use pins on this kind of fabric because it leaves the holes and marks. So if you want to make sure that they are not moving, you have to use some sewing clips, or if you don't have any of those, pegs will work fine, or even paper clips. So I'm going to change my needle into a thicker one, 116. Because it is a very flexible material, it's just faux leather, it's not proper leather. You can still use normal thread, but if it were proper leather, you will need a thicker thread. So a top stitching thread. So I'm not able to do it. And of course, we're going to change it into a plastic foot. Let's try it before I make the other one. It worked. Let's do the other one. I finished, and when I was putting the second one on, the zip just broke. I had another one that was good, and that's the time when you're in a rush and you don't even change the presser foot. But anyways, I'm done. And one thing, they look okay, but I don't know why they are wrinkly on the inside. Maybe it must be, well, it can be the type of leather, faux leather, or maybe that's why they had this seam with the top stitching on. Maybe that was to take pressure of the inside. The thing is that, and I ended the video saying this, that the original cover is, even though it's only a rectangle of fabric, it's made by 2 of them. If you see, there's a seam in here, top stitch, really nice. And I think I said that maybe it's because this makes the tension a bit lighter on the zip, so maybe it's there for a reason. Probably maybe it's not only design but comfort. So I can't be more clever than the designer, so I have to be a bit humble and make it again. You have to follow steps. And I'm going to make this one as well, because I don't know when we took it off, but it's good to have it as well. Voy a aprovechar la cremallera igual que hice previamente. So I'm going to start by sewing right sides together so I can then top stitch with a plastic foot. So I just put them on and they are still wrinkly. They are a bit better, so where you put your hands is not bothering you now, which is which is a relief, but they're still wrinkly. I think that this material is more flexible than the original one, the one that it came with, so it stretches. And even though I cut it the length of the zip, when I put it over there, it's much longer than the zip. So it must be that it's stretching and it makes all the wrinkles. So I ended up cutting a bit of the ends, so to make it a bit shorter and see if that way it will hold better, as well as leaving it more seam allowance instead of just half a centimeter like the other time. I left a whole centimeter to see if that makes it a bit, I don't know, a bit better. Still wrinkly, but a bit better, so good. And I'm going to make the other one. I just made sure, and I look at my gallery wall on the phone, and that one didn't have two panels. It's just one panel, so that's what I'm going to do. 35 centimeters panel with a 10 centimeter width. And it's important to start from the bottom of the zip so you sew it at the same distance. And with this one, the same happened. Even though it's not as curvy, the zip inside goes all wrinkly the minute it starts curving. So I don't know. Now I'm out of ideas. I thought it could be I thought it was the top stitching on this one. I thought it could be maybe that it was a bit too long, so I shortened it. But now this one, I'm not sure, because even though it's not as curved, it wrinkles the same, but it looks nicer. And that way the baby, when she starts biting, doesn't bite the rubber. So that's good. I'm not sure what other options I have. I shortened this one in case it was the problem, that it was too long and it was wrinkling. Then I also thought about the hemming, the seams, and I left them a bit wider, and now I'm not sure, because this one hasn't got the pattern. It's just a rectangle. It's not curved, it hasn't got anything, so I'm not really sure. Now what I think is that the fabric is a different kind. So let me know then in the comments what you thought, if you have any ideas of what it could be, because I have more fabric. I can try again. And don't forget to subscribe and to share with someone who might enjoy it. Bye. Hello. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, por favor. Thank you. Thank you. Did you have mommy's phone?